It is the season. Welcome to our Oneness Center for Spiritual Living Candlelighting service. We are so delighted that you've joined us tonight and for some time together as we celebrate and we pray and we give thanks. On this cold December night, only 3 days from the winter solstice, we've come together to celebrate the gift of light and life and its spiritual presence, power, and promise. Let's start by going within and coming into prayer. Let's breathe together. A beautiful, long, deep breath. And with each breath, we receive and we connect. We physically embody and know and remember that we are one with that one power, one presence, one life, one light. That perfect power and presence that is all that is the source and substance of all creation. And it is that absolute power that is most high, most pure, of unconditional love, forever giving of itself. And we are that gift as we are one with God. God is that gift in our light, in our life. And so tonight we come together with beautiful expectation, in celebration, in gratitude, and in prayer for our world. We give thanks for all that we choose to celebrate this year. We pray for all of those who are seeking relief, healing, and a return to abundance and goodness in life. For we know that all of that is God, and we pray for that greater goodness ever flowing, ever being given forth. We celebrate tonight our oneness community, and our oneness with all life. For we know that whatever appears to be the case, God's goodness and God's presence is ever present. And as we open ourselves to receive and to be, our life is always transformed. So let's celebrate God. We thank you for all that has been, all that is, and all the good that is to come. Thank you for the gift of life. And in all the many and blessed names of God, amen, and so it is. And let's begin by lighting the God candle. Tonight, our service is entirely virtual. We are celebrating with our legacy candles. And yes, virtual services continue to be a physical world reality that is calling us to be resilient. And at the same time, calling us to remember that in both the natural and spiritual realms, we are always connected. In our faith, we believe that our hearts and our consciousness are always joined in the oneness of all life. And that means beyond space and time. So welcome everybody. I know and I can feel your hearts. And I know that your hearts reach out and embrace each and every one of us on this service and throughout the world. How wonderful it is to see each of you, to see into your homes tonight as well. And it warms my heart. I hope it warms and delights yours as well. Now, on this note, you will find that we have muted everyone's mic during the service, but afterwards, please join, please linger on in the Zoom when we will open the mics and we can greet each other, be together, and chat with each other. Many of our Oneness members have joyfully devoted themselves to being part of this service and producing this for our wonderful Oneness community as our gifts to you. In case you're wondering, our Oneness choir has not been able to practice during these long COVID months. And I know we can all reflect back on prior years how wonderful it was to have our choir performing. So we look forward to hearing them next year. And tonight, we have 5 different musicians from other places in our country who will be gifting us with their talents. So let's begin. 2020 has been a year like no other. Worldwide, all lives have been changed by something invisible, that COVID virus, by something invisible, hate and divide, by something invisible, misinformation. It's amazing how something invisible can have that effect. And yet something that is invisible, as is God, can have a wonderful and empowering effect. Tonight, we dedicate our first candle with a profound tribute of our love for all of those lives, for all whose lives have been surrendered to the COVID pandemic, to all those lives who have been impaired by the pandemic or who may be sick at this moment. We give heartfelt tribute and honor for those lives harmed and lost by injustice of any kind, and those who are dedicated to justice for all. And we give a heartfelt, deep, warm tribute also to all our medical and frontline workers everywhere, who have been bravely serving humanity in the face of personal danger to themselves. I'd like to introduce CSL practitioner Idalia Romero and her reading about life.
A Life Well Lived by author unknown. A life well lived is a precious gift of hope and strength and grace from someone who has made our world a brighter, better place. It fills with moments, sweet and sad, with smiles and sometimes tears, with friendships formed and good times shared and laughter through the years. A life well lived is a legacy of joy and pride and pleasure, a living, lasting memory our grateful hearts will treasure. Life is the everlasting power. We breathe it into our thoughts, feelings, and actions. It is the power of our presence, which evokes in others their own power to express the eternal activity of God, which is everlasting life. We honor and celebrate the life of all those that have been a part of our lives and have spiritually moved on from their physical realm.
Thank you, Idalia. As I light the red candle, please pause in personal reflection and reverence for all who have passed this year, for those we personally honor and grieve, and for all who are dedicated to serving life and justice everywhere. Life is ever changing, as we know, and we have known it definitely this year. In a year filled with chaos, when order becomes disorder on its way to new order, Spirit invites us to grow in wisdom, faith, and consciousness, gracefully surrendering so that we can be the fertile soil of new beginnings. At this time, I'd like to introduce CSL practitioner Rebecca Beall, who will present a reading about transformation.
Believed it was still a caterpillar. It speaks of transformation and not accepting it. The truth is, sometimes we have more power than we're willing to see, and we waste energy resisting change with our eyes fixed on the past, trying to be who we no longer are. Some time ago, a small caterpillar was born. With some difficulty, it crawled on the ground from one place to another, until one day, tired of crawling, it decided to climb a tree. But not just any tree. It chose to climb a tree with a large trunk and dewy leaves, a tree that it had played under for years. It came to a branch where it could see the whole valley. The views were wonderful. It could see other animals, the blue sky with white cotton clouds, and on the horizon, a great sea painted an intense blue. From that branch, the caterpillar breathed in peace. While the caterpillar was tired and at the same time grateful for its life as a caterpillar, it knew that the time had come to become something else. The caterpillar fell asleep, feeling a great peace and thinking about how its destiny was to be something more than a simple caterpillar. It slept and slept, making a chrysalis grow around it, a shell that kept the peace there long enough to become another being. When it awoke, it felt trapped in a heavy shell that didn't allow it to move. It felt something strange had grown on its back. With effort, it moved what looked like huge blue wings and the shell broke. The caterpillar was no longer a caterpillar. It was a blue butterfly. However, the caterpillar had been a caterpillar for so long that it didn't realize it wasn't a caterpillar any longer. The blue butterfly crawled down the tree using its legs, even though it now had wings. It carried the weight of those big blue wings, a weight that consumed its strength. The blue butterfly moved its legs as it had always done, believing itself to be a caterpillar and continuing to live as if it were. But its wings didn't allow him to move on the ground with as much agility as before. The butterfly that believed itself to still be a caterpillar didn't understand why its life had become so hard. Tired of carrying the weight of its wings, it decided to return to the branch where it had transformed. This time, trying to climb the tree, moving forward was impossible. The butterfly that thought it was still a caterpillar stood still and looked up at that branch that seemed so far away, and then it began to cry. Upon hearing its cry, a beautiful, wise orange butterfly approached it. The orange butterfly perched on a flower, and for a while it looked at the blue butterfly without saying anything. When the blue butterfly's crying subsided, the orange butterfly said, "What happened? I can't climb up that branch. Before, even though it was hard, I could do it. But if you can't climb up that branch, maybe you can fly." The blue butterfly, that thought it was still a caterpillar, looked strangely at the orange butterfly, and then looked at itself and its large, heavy wings. Just as on the day that it came out of its shell, it moved them hard and opened them. They were so big and beautiful, a color of blue so intense that the transformed caterpillar got scared and quickly closed them again. "You're wearing down your legs by not using your wings," said the orange butterfly, taking flight while opening its wise wings and flying away with elegance. The blue butterfly watched, amazed at each movement of the orange butterfly, and reflected on the orange butterfly's words. At that moment, it began to understand that it was no longer a caterpillar, that perhaps those heavy wings could be useful. The blue butterfly opened them again, and this time kept them open. It closed its eyes and felt the wind caressing them. It felt those wings that were now a part of it and accepted that it was no longer a caterpillar, so it could not continue to live as such, crawling on the ground. And then it opened its wings wider and wider, each time becoming more butterfly and less caterpillar. It observed the world, almost magical blue of its wings. Soon it realized it was flying. It was slowly moving toward the branch. Flying was so much easier than dragging its legs, although it still had to perfect its technique. It discovered that its fear of flying hadn't allowed it to accept who it really was, a caterpillar who transformed into a blue butterfly. Ernest Holm tells us it is the nature of the universe to give us what we are able to take. It cannot give us more. It has given all. We have not yet accepted the greater gift.
Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. No, so don't you bring me down. bring me down today. No matter what we do, no matter what we say. Yeah, oh, yeah. And everywhere we go, so always shine. We are beautiful, no matter what they say. Yes, words won't bring us down. Oh, we are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can bring us down. Oh, don't you bring me down today. Oh, hey, don't you bring me down today. Oh, hey. So don't you bring me down today.
Wow, was that beautiful. In 2020, we have been called to adapt and be resilient for ourselves and as a gift of being a calming presence for others. This has called us into greater faith, greater trust, and being present with God. And remembering that God is always present in, as, through, and for us. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Lisa Gordon, who will present an enchanting reading about resilience, trust, and faith.
Salmon have much to teach us about the art of facing things. In swimming up waterfalls, these remarkable creatures seem to defy gravity. It is an amazing thing to behold. A closer look reveals a wisdom for all beings who want to thrive. What the salmon somehow know is how to turn their underside from center to tail into the powerful current coming at them, which hits them squarely, and the impact then launches them out and further up the waterfall, to which their reaction is again to turn their underside back into the powerful current that, of course, again hits them squarely. And this successive impact launches them further out and up the waterfall. Their leaning into what they face bounces them further and further along their unlikely journey. From a distance, it seems magical, as if these mighty fish are flying, conquering their element. In actuality, they are deeply at one with their element, vibrantly and thoroughly engaged in a compelling dance of turning toward and being hit squarely that moves them through water and air to the very source of their nature. In terms useful to life of the spirit, the salmon are constantly faithful in exposing their underside to the current coming at them. Mysteriously, it is the physics of this courage that enables them to move through life as they know it so directly. We can learn from this very active paradox, for we too must find a way to lean into the forces that hit us so squarely. The salmon offer us a way to face truth without shutting down. They show us how leaning into our experience, though we don't like the hit, moves us on. Time and again, though we'd rather turn away, it is the impact of being revealed through our willingness to be vulnerable that enables us to experience both mystery and grace.
As I light the purple candle, let's pause in personal reflection of all that has challenged us with uncertainty this year, how we responded, and how faith and trust in the absolute wisdom, power, and love of Source, of God, always guides us and supports us when we welcome that support. And that alone brings us into resilience. Many have given tirelessly with great exhaustion in 2020 to help others. Frontline workers, for example, medical professionals, food bank volunteers, and more, such as those who have worked for justice. Service is a gift of giving as an act that blesses and helps others. I'd like to introduce Jodi Davidson, who, along with our entire Oneness board, has served our community tirelessly throughout this year. Jodi has a reading for us about serving.
Spirit Speaks, Answer the Call, authored by Carol Burbank, PhD. What's your best leadership memory? What were you doing? How did it feel? Who were you with? Why was this one of your finest memories? There's a good chance this was a situation when you would have been able to say, if anyone had asked, this was mine to do. You felt strong, doing something natural, inevitable, maybe even easy, no matter how difficult the challenge might have been. In these moments is when we step up to our calling, answering that still, small voice that invites us to do what is ours. We lead from our strengths and our soul. If only for one moment, our gifts and our vision weave together with service and discipline. Answering the call from Spirit takes both courage as well as hope. We need courage because a calling begins a journey filled with tests and surprises. We need hope so that we can trust the future, that it will bring moments of mastery as well as grace. Answering such a call makes our leadership journey meaningful for both ourselves and our communities. When our leadership journey and hero's journey merge together on one path, we find a sense of wholeness and connection that means our learning process matters for others as well. A leadership calling supports resilience as well, which is a good thing. As the work gets more complex, we're called to more complex leadership tasks. As organizations face painful adaptation, we're called to integrate new information, strategies, as well as needs. Without a calling, it's easier to get lost in ego with ups and downs of arrogance and self-doubt. Acting on your deep leadership calling opens up new possibilities. It opens up moments of synchronicity and flow. Building on an authentic foundation, we use what and how we know so that we can become creative problem solvers, exercising freedom of mind and healing wisdom from the soul. Namaste. And so it is.
Thank you, Jodi. As I light the green candle, let us pause in personal reflection of all the ways that we have been of service and how we have been served through the care and spirit of others in this strange year. Let's also consider and pledge ourselves to engaging in compassionate service in 2021.
That we can learn what it means to truly love ourselves, and we can learn to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. That we can live in harmony, see ourselves as a family. This is my prayer for humanity. That we respect our women and protect our girls, that they feel safe in every corner of the world, that we can live in harmony, see ourselves as a family. This is my prayer for humanity. By loving every boy as if it were his only son, that we can live in harmony, see ourselves as a family. This is my prayer. This is my prayer for humanity. Whoa, that we know that nobody really wins a war, and every leader knows what power is really for, that we can live in harmony, see ourselves as a family. This is my prayer. This is my prayer. This is my prayer. This is my prayer for humanity. That every man, woman, boy, and girl will hear these words all across the world. That every man, woman, boy, and girl will hear these words all across the world. That every man, woman, boy, and girl will hear these words all across the world. This is my prayer. This is my prayer for humanity.
Wow, thank you so much, Jenna, Jill, Felicia, and Aaron. Thank you. This past year, our outer world was more turbulent and divided, and yet we can align with peace in the midst of chaos and threat and fear. In what ways were you able to find and be at peace this year? We are all called to expand our capacity and consciousness of peace and to actively be that presence in the world. It's my pleasure to introduce our beloved Amon James, who will present Ernest Holmes' Prayer for World Peace.
"2020 has often caused many of us to long for peace. Given the many changes in the world, our country, our places of employment, and our homes, peace has sometimes felt elusive. The Oxford Dictionary defines peace as the freedom from disturbance, tranquility. And as truth students, we know that our journey to peace must start within ourselves. We must do the inner work. We must look within to identify and heal the places within us that are not feeling free from disturbance. We must heal those inner spaces that are not experiencing tranquility. But our focus cannot remain solely within. As long as there's someone in our homes, our communities, our country, or the world that feel disturbed, that are not experiencing tranquility, then our work is not done. For we are one with all. On some level, what is true for them is true for us, and vice versa. So if we are to truly dwell in peace, we must regularly pray and hold in consciousness a world in which all are permanently free from disturbance and all consistently experience tranquility. In his prayer for world peace, Ernest Holmes expressed these truths in the following way. I know there is but one mind, which is the mind of God, in which all people live, move, and have their being. I know there is a divine pattern for humanity, and within this pattern, there is infinite harmony and peace, cooperation, unity, and mutual helpfulness. I know that the mind of man, being one with the mind of God, shall discover the method, the way, and the means best fitted to permit the flow of divine love between individuals and nations. Thus, harmony, peace, cooperation, unity, and mutual helpfulness will be experienced by all. I know there shall be a free interchange of ideas, of cultures, of spiritual concepts, of ethics, of educational systems, and of scientific discoveries. For all good belongs to all alike. I know that because the divine mind has created us all, we are bound together in one infinite and perfect unity. In bringing about world peace, I know that all people, all nations will remain individual, but unified for the common purpose of promoting peace, happiness, harmony, and prosperity. I know that deep within every person, the divine pattern of perfect peace is already implanted. I now declare that in each person and in leaders of thought everywhere, this divine pattern moves into action and form to the end that all nations and all people shall live together in peace, harmony, and prosperity forever. So it is now.
And so it is. Amon, thank you. As I light the blue candle of peace, let's pause in personal reflection for all that we have witnessed this year. What helped us to find inner peace? and how we can be the light of peace in the times to come. What has lifted our spirits and helped us through this trying year? I'm guessing, in part at least, that it was those moments of love and joy that may have surprised us at times, that were really gifts, that brought light into our lives, and also helped us find the power to keep going. I'm delighted to introduce CSL practitioner Io McClenney, who will present a reading about joy.
Cameron is one of my first religious science teachers, and Reverend Annette introduced me to Khalil Gibran, a prolific poet, philosopher, and artist who died in 1931. And one of his fabulous poems is about sorrow and joy, and I'm going to share that with you today. Then a woman said, "Speak to us of joy and sorrow." And he answered, "Your joy is your sorrow unmasked, and the self same well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And is not the lute that soothes your spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? When you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. So this poem speaks to our limitless potential to experience joy and sorrow and the relationship between joy and sorrow. But what I want to illustrate is our capacity to experience. You see, we're born with limitless potential. And I'm going to demonstrate that using just party balloons. These balloons come out of the package. They have a shape, but we know that latex gives them the capacity to expand, reduce, and expand again. All we have to do is add or release air. I believe that each of us is born with a human shape, but through our connection to the divine, we have the capacity to grow. And all we have to do is experience. So for the sake of demonstration, assume that I am a balloon and my breath is my experience. So it comes out of the box and I put air into it and watch what happens. Now, remember, came out of the box looking like this. Look at all that experience. The shape has changed. Now, what happens though, if for some reason air is released? So excuse the sound. It doesn't look like a balloon that just came out of the package, does it? Because you see, once the experience has been had or the air has been added, the capacity for more is automatic. Watch. It's even bigger than the last time. So once it was inflated with air, and deflated, it automatically had the capacity for more. And I believe that's how it is with us. And that's how important experience is for us, right? So the more experiences we have, the greater our potential, the greater we are able to have bigger and better experiences. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about balloons and humans and how we're connected. You blow up a balloon with air, you let the air out, you blow it up again. And as human beings, we too grow and change with every experience. So get out there and fill your balloon with air and your life experience with joy. And know that you are always full of potential and you'll never go back to the original shape. And so it is.
Thank you, Io. And now, as I light the pink candle of joy, let's reflect and give thanks for the joys we greatly found this past year. Perhaps some of them were new joys, and all the joys that we experienced despite the pandemic. Joy is so vital to our lives. Let us affirm that we are vessels of even greater, expanding expressions of joy and goodness in our world in 2021.
I woke up this morning joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I sleep. I woke up this morning joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I sleep. 1, 2, 3, 4. I woke up this morning joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I sleep. I woke up this morning joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. 'Cause I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Oh, I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. I'm grateful. I woke up this morning grateful as can be. Sing along. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. Oh, I woke up this morning grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. Yes, I did. I woke up this morning grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. 'Cause I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Oh, I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Let's say giving. I woke up this morning giving as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. I love to give. I woke up this morning giving as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning giving as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning giving as can be, giving love, and that's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. 'Cause I love being alive. thing about my life. Oh, I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Okay, this next one is to inspire joy within all hearts. We're gonna be playful, and I want you to be as playful and joyful as possible, okay? Go with it. 'Tis the season, but I could literally be saying that at any time of the year. Let's be real. Ready? I woke up this morning playful as can be. That's how I spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning playful as can be. That's how I'll spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. Oh, oh, oh. I woke up this morning playful as can be. That's how I'll spend my day, and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 and that's how I'll sleep. 'Cause I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Oh, I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. All the joy and all the gratitude and all the generosity I'm giving from my heart, and all the world can see that all this joy and playfulness that I hold in my life is also theirs to have. And I didn't have another rhyme, 'cause I just made this part up, yeah. Oh yeah, I woke up this morning. Oh, I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Sing it. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Oh, I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life.
Thank you, Jesse Powers, singing joy. And above all, we celebrate the presence of the all good, infinite love that is the source of all life and all joy and all that's good. Tonight, we celebrate God's presence everywhere in every moment, knowing that God is everywhere active, awaiting our engagement with God, the source of all healing, of all peace, the source of all joy, beauty, grace, renewal, abundance, and creativity. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our final reader tonight, Marijane Thompson, who will read about light.
This reading is taken from Chapter 1 of Anam by John O'Donoghue. If you ever have the occasion to be out early in the morning before the dawn breaks, you will notice that the darkest time of night is immediately before dawn. If you had never been to the world and never known what a day was, you couldn't possibly imagine how the darkness breaks, how the mystery and color of a new day arrive. Light is incredibly generous, but also gentle. When you attend to the way the dawn comes, you learn how light can coax the dark. The first fingers of light appear on the horizon, and ever so deftly and gradually, they pull the mantle of darkness away from the world. Quietly before you is the mystery of a new dawn, the new day. The dawn is a refreshing time, a time of possibility and promise. All the elements of nature, stones, fields, rivers, and animals are suddenly there anew in the fresh dawn light. Just as darkness brings rest and release, so the dawn brings awakening and renewal. Each day, the dawn unveils the mystery of the universe. Dawn is the ultimate surprise. It awakens us to the immense vareness of nature. The wonderful, subtle color of the universe arises to clothe everything. We are always on a journey from darkness into light. The miracle of thought is its presence in the night of your soul. The brilliance of thought is born in darkness. Each day is a journey. We come out of the night into the day. All creativity awakens at this primal threshold where light and darkness test and bless each other. Ultimately, light is the mother of life. Where there is no light, there can be no life. If the angle of the sun were to turn away from the earth, all human, animal, and vegetative life as we know it would disappear. Light is the secret presence of the divine. It keeps life awake. Light is a nurturing presence which calls forth warmth and color in nature. The soul awakens and lives in light. It helps us to glimpse the sacred depths within us. Once human beings began to search for meaning to life, light became one of the most powerful metaphors to express the eternity and depth of life. Thought has often been compared to light. In its luminosity, the intellect was deemed to be the place of the divine within us. When the human mind began to consider the next greatest mystery of life, the mystery of love, light was also always used as a metaphor for its power and presence. When love awakens in your life, in the night of your heart, it is like the dawn breaking within you. When love awakens in your life, it is like a rebirth, a new beginning. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Marijane. And now, as I light our white candle, let's pause in reflection, embracing, accepting, and giving thanks for all the divine gifts of grace, guidance, and wisdom of divine light that has been present with and for each of us this year. Our gratitude for these gifts and for everything that became a blessing. Let us center ourselves in the joy and rightness of being we feel when aligned with God, with light, and how we become a light in the world as we allow ourselves to be the place where God's light shines forth through us.
If you let your guard You might just like what lets itself on in. If you open the door just a crack or two, you get a flash of what you've been missing. Then these days and days, they turn into years, and these years that have built these walls. And that little old crack lets in a sea of light, and then there's colors, oh, will you let it shine, shine. Well, then the darkness, the one you called your friend, may no longer be so welcome in. 'Cause they say there's no greater gift than feelings lost and found again. 'Cause it's your right, it's your essence, it's your rainbow, it's your golden vine. Will you let it shine, shine? Oh, will you let it shine, 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 shine. When you reach up and you reach for the stars, and they're farther than they've ever been. Will you raise your hand and you raise your heart, and you're finally listening to that voice, to that little old voice, the one that screams like a lion. Will you let it shine, shine? Oh, will you let it shine? Oh, will you let it shine, 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 shine. If you let your guard down long enough, you might just like what lets itself on in. If you open the door just a crack or two, you get a flash of what you've been missing. Then these days and days, they turned into years, and these years that have built these walls. But that little old crack that's in a sea of light, and then there's colors, there's colors. So you let it shine, you let it shine. Then the darkness, the one you called your friend, may no longer be so welcome in.
Thank you, Bob and Shannon. We have received so abundantly and graciously in so many ways throughout the year. And we have received tonight in so many ways. And I want to gratefully express my gratitude to each reader, each musician, and most especially to someone who is always sort of behind the scenes, and that is John Henderson, who has so masterfully put this together in terms of a digital event. And as we have received tonight, we joyfully participate in that law of circulation by giving of our gifts. I invite you to center yourself in the feelings of love, gratitude, and abundance, allowing them to fill you to overflowing. And together, let's speak our prosperity affirmation. I am grateful for the infinite abundance of the universe, blesses and multiplies this offering, and so it is. And we have the ability now to make a donation online at our website, onenesscsl.com, under the donate button. And if you would prefer, it's also possible to text to give by texting the number 410-567-5459. If it happens to be your first time, you'll be asked to enter some credit card information. And thank you for your generosity. Together, we remember that as we give with abundance, we abundantly receive with gratitude. And now let's declare our receiving affirmation together. Together, we receive these gifts, knowing that they nurture and support our vision of building an inclusive community through spiritual connection. And so it is. And now it is that magical time. I hope you got the message to have a candle and a lighter nearby. I'm going to go get mine. And please, as you light yours, hold it up to your camera so that we can see our lights shining. And please take a moment as we sing, I am a light. Let's sing it together. It's really easy to catch on.
I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I shine, and I shine so bright, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. We shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we May the light of God we now kindle within inspire us to be compassionate healers, helpers, bridge builders, and peacemakers as God in expression. In all the holy names of God, amen. And so it is. And blessings, all of you wonderful shining lights. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Reverend Jenna.
Thank you, thank
Next year,
you,
open.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Reverend Jenna and everyone.
Yep. Thanks.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
beautiful.
Don. That was amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you, Idalia, for your dinner.
Don.
Don Henderson, you knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Gosh, well
You did.
done, everyone. Yay.
Good job, Jenna.
That was the best.
Jenna.
Reverend Jenna.
Thank you.
and everyone who did it. Thank
See
you.
you, Tom.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Great story,
Bye
Dr.
now.
Everybody.
It'd be great if we could see everyone speak again.
Love
Good
you.
night.